The Great Mississippi Flood of 1927. A tall tale told the Mississippi way. Now, folks say the Mississippi River has a mind of its own, ornery as a mule and twice as stubborn. But in the spring of 1927, it got up on the wrong side of the bed entirely. Some blamed the rain, some blamed Washington, and some blamed the devil himself, but I always figured the river just woke up cranky and decided to remind everybody who really owned the Delta. It started with rain. Not your quiet, polite Sunday afternoon rain, but a pounding, hollering, wall-shaking rain that beat on the rooftops like a Baptist preacher thumping his Bible. It rained so hard chickens were found perched on fence posts praying for deliverance. And I personally witnessed a cat try to build an ark out of broom straw. People said it was the kind of weather Noah would have called a bit excessive. The creeks filled first, then the rivers. Then the Mississippi itself began to rise like it was late for an appointment with God Almighty. She swelled, she churned, and she slapped her levees like a woman banging on a locked door demanding to be let in. Now the engineers, fine men with clipboards and worried foreheads, walked up and down the levees shaking their heads like doctors who've seen your chart and don't like what they see. They said the river was rising too fast, too strong. But the old folks didn't need engineers. They could read the signs. The frogs were climbing trees, the raccoons packed suitcases, and every man in the Delta had a strange urge to buy more boots. Then it happened. On April 21st, the levee at Mound Landing gave way. No, sir, that levee exploded. People said the sound was like the sky cracking open. Some swore the shockwave parted their hair in the next county. When it broke, the river came through that gap like a freight train hunting vengeance, roaring, snarling, and carrying enough water to float the church, the steeple, and the pastor's good intentions. A wall of water, 10 feet high and full of fish, fence posts, and somebody's front porch, rolled over the Delta. Cows were seen mooing from treetops. A pig swam so long it came out with whiskers like a catfish. One fellow claimed he saw his mother-in-law drifting down the river on her sofa, knitting calmly like she'd ordered first-class tickets. Whole towns disappeared, not flooded, disappeared. Folks woke up where they'd never intended to sleep. One man from Greenville paddled to his barn loft only to find his neighbor already living there, eating his biscuits and claiming squatters' rights. Arkansas didn't fare much better. Half the state went underwater, and the other half was considering it. In some places, the water got 30 feet deep, which, for those unfamiliar, is deeper than the patience of a schoolteacher with a room full of sixth-grade boys. And through all this, the Delta people, tough as old hickory and twice as rooted, did what Delta people do. They climbed, they clung, they waited, and they hollered when needed. Rescue boats slid through cotton fields. Airplanes dropped food to folks stuck on rooftops, waving like they were greeting angels. Refugee camps popped up on levees, railroad beds, and any patch of earth that didn't have catfish swimming across it. Now, some say Herbert Hoover, head of the Red Cross effort, rode up and down the river organizing rescue operations. Others swear he just followed the flood because he'd never seen anything that interesting in Washington. Either way, when this was all over, the man rode that fame straight into the White House like a possum climbing a sweet gum tree. When the water finally started to go down, and it took its sweet time about it, you could see what the river had left behind. Mud so deep you could lose a tractor in it, fields full of driftwood and debris, and houses sitting in places no one remembered putting them. But the people, they came back. They swept, they shoveled, they rebuilt, and they went right on living beside that big, bad, beautiful river, because folks in Mississippi know something the river will never learn. Life is more than what the water takes away. And that, as the old storytellers say, is how the Mississippi River threw the biggest tantrum in American history, and how the people of the Delta looked it straight in the eye, spit in the mud, and said, "You ain't running us off."